So last time when we met, we were discussing about you can say operating system, and we have seen with various generations of operating system, and we have seen first generation, second generation, third and fourth, and history we already seen. We have seen the analytical machine of Charles Babbage, who is known as a father of computer, which was used mechanical assembly for computing. Then next generation were using vacuum tubes, and this was the size of the computer. We have seen advantages and disadvantages, and they were using you can say connecting plug boards and wires for connecting various nodes, you can say, and giving the inputs. And this was the punch card people were using for input. We have seen advantages and disadvantages. Second generation, then they were using transistors, and these were the transistors that people were using. Batch system, there were three different systems for input, process and output. For input, they were using IBM 1401, and for output, same. And tape drive or card reader were used for input as well as for printing the output. So this was the setup of the second generation computers, advantages and disadvantages. And third generation, integrated circuit ICs were invented. So these were the typical third generation computers. And System 360 need multi-programming was invented. We have already seen. And then fourth generation of computer, LSI, large scale integrated circuits, and VLSI. So these are the circuits that we have already seen. So this was the development of first, second, third, and fourth generations of computers. Then let's go to the types of operating system. There are various types of operating system as seen on your screen. Single user, batch processing, multi-programming, time sharing, real time, distributed, and modern operating system, which is combination of all above operating system. So let's quickly see one by one. So single user again OS is you can say divided into the two categories: single tasking OS, multitasking OS. And real-time OS is also divided further into the two categories: hard real-time operating system and soft real-time operating system. So by the name you can see single user operating system. What is that? So I'm quickly going through the description. Only one user can access computer at a time. Computer have single processor and can execute a single program at a time. CPU sits idle for most of the time. You can understand that only one program can run at a time, and CPU sits idle because sometimes CPU is waiting for input or CPU is doing some output process. So processors many times sits idle. Two types: single user, single tasking. So it's allow only single user to execute one program at a time, and single user multitasking allows a single user to operate multiple programs at a time. But the user is single. Again, some OS are single tasking and some OS are multitasking. So user, same, I think you have seen this diagram earlier also. Single user OS executes application program of the user with help of hardware and give result back to the user. It's same. So user will give input to the application program. It will communicate with OS. OS will communicate with the hardware, and then return output will be given. Batch processing, right? A batch of, you can say, task or batch of jobs will get processed simultaneously. What is batch? It is nothing but a sequence of user jobs, right? Each job in the batch is independent of other job in the batch, maybe belong to different users, right? It is not necessary that the batch belongs to or job in the batch belongs to a single user. It may belong to multiple users. How it works? Programmer prepare the job and submit it to the operator. Job consists of program data and some control information. So what programmer does? For example, a bank. Bank wants to give 1% interest to all of its bank account holder. All, for example, SBI Bank, SBI Bank having 1 billion user, 1 billion you can say account holder, and SBI wants to give 1% interest to all of its account holder. So what it does, all the individual account is individual job. What is data? Data is the current account balance and how much increment does it need? 1% of the current balance. This is a simple example. So all the account needs to be, balance of the all account needs to be increased by 1%, right? So programmer will prepare this job. Operator sort them in the batches with the similar requirement and insert marker card to indicate start and end of the batch. The example which I have given is, you can say latest example, but as I have already show you, batch means card, a card reader. It will insert a marker card to indicate start and end of the batch, where the job will start and when the job will end. Sometime later, after some hours later, or maybe after some days, see, as we have already seen that some tasks which are very huge would require some hours or some day, the output will get generated depending upon the size of the batch. So this is schematic batch processing, part of the memory occupied by batch monitor called system area, and part of the memory occupied by user job is called user area. So system area where current user area is nothing but the current job, where job will be residing, and batch monitor where the control information is residing, right? So input, this is the memory where the batches reside. This you can say operating system part, and the output. So disadvantage of batch processing: low throughput. Why? CPU remain ideal while IO operation. See, when users are preparing for input or user is printing the output, the CPU is ideal, right? CPU is ideal. So this is the first disadvantage. High turnaround time. What is turnaround time? Let's see. Turnaround time is time taken between submitting the job and getting the output, which includes the both batch formatting and execution. See, as we have seen that when user are submitting the job, it is being processed and the output. The turnaround time is the time between user will prepare the jobs, then it will be submitted, and the output will get printed or will be, you can say, copied inside the tape drive. So this process will take too much time. So two disadvantages: low throughput and high turnaround time. See this type of question may be asked in the multi-choice question. Left hand side, all the advantage or disadvantage will be given. Right hand side, operating system type is given, and you need to match it. For example, high turnaround time, which belongs to batch processing operating system, something like that. Multi-programming OS, it allowed multiple users to execute multiple programs using single CPU, right? In this system, collection of job is maintained on the disk and subset of that kept in the main memory. So it is similar to the operating system which we are using currently, right? Jobs are on the hard disk and the job which needs to be processed are taken into the memory for processing. These jobs can be executed simultaneously using time multiplex CPU, right? So each job one by one will utilize the CPU time and it is simultaneously being processed. For example, right now I am running this PPT, then my browser is on, my Google Meet is on, and there are many background processes which are currently running in my computer. So all of these programs are using CPU, right? All of these programs are using CPU. So, but CPU is so much fast that as a normal user are means in the illusion that these programs are being run simultaneously, but actually CPU is running one by one. CPU is running program parallelly because at a time only one program can access the CPU. But the CPU is so much fast and it will switch to program one to other, then next, so fast, then a normal user like us cannot differentiate that the CPU is running these multiple programs simultaneously, right? So it is the example of multi-programming OS where multiple programs are being executed simultaneously. So this is the diagram. Example is also given where running program request for IO operation. IO means input output. The CPU will be free, thus CPU can be allocated to other program. For example, multiple program. See, multi-program kernel. There are multiple program. Program 1, program 2, program 3. Program means any application. For example, this is Microsoft Excel. This is PowerPoint. This is browser. So when one program is doing IO, means taking some input or printing some output. So let me tell you, when a program is doing any input and output operation or input or output operation, they don't need CPU. Program do not need CPU. So what can be done? CPU can be given to the other program. Now consider program 2 is also doing IO. So the CPU can be given to third program, right? So again, for example, first program have finished the IO. So CPU can be given to first program. The program which is doing IO need not to use CPU. So CPU can be given to the another program. And for example, if multiple program wants CPU at a time, then what will happen? Program needs to wait and each program will get the CPU according to the scheduling algorithm, which we are going to learn in the subsequent units, right? Here, for example, here program 1 and program 3 both want CPU at a time, but only one program can get CPU at a time. So based on the scheduling algorithm, operating system will decide either CPU is given to program 1 or CPU can be given to program 3. But the moral of the story is when program is doing input output operation, CPU can be given to the other program. Then multi-program OS. Here, unlike the OS, more than one job can be loaded into the memory, as I have told you. Kernel required to perform scheduling, as I have told you. When multiple programs are running, scheduling is needed because which program will access the CPU for how much time needs to be decided. Memory management, because these are, say, multiple programs. and memory are limited. So which program should be given, how much memory, again it is needs to be decided, and IO management. Device must be allocated program when required. For example, all these programs need CPU. Sorry, IO device. IO device means keyboard or printer. So again, only one device can use IO at a time. See, so what I mean to say is the resources are shared. For example, your input device like keyboard and mouse, it is single, then CPU is single, then output device for like printer, that is also single, and this is memory. Memory is also single, and programs are multiple. So it is a task of the operating system to manage all these, to whom to give input device, to which program to give output device, to which program to give CPU, and how much memory should be given to which program. So all will be decided by the operating system then. So it is the task of the operating system to decide which program should be given how much memory, how much CPU time, and how much time of IO. Right? So advantage of operating system is higher throughput because CPU is mostly busy. When one program is doing IO, CPU is given to multiple program, other program. So CPU is busy. But disadvantage is no user interaction. User has no contact with his program during the execution. User cannot give input to the program at execution time and even cannot examine output on the monitor screen. This is multi-program OS. Time sharing OS, or you can say multitasking OS. It is, you can say, similar to multi-programming OS. CPU is multiplexed by time among several jobs that kept into the main memory. It is same funda. So these are the tasks. The scheduler will pick one task, select one program, given to the CPU. When computation is over, the task will be at the last. Again, CPU will take second task, given to the CPU, put here. Scheduler will take third task, given to the CPU, put here. So you can say according to the round robin scheduling, scheduler will pick up the task from the scheduling list given to the CPU. CPU will perform the execution. If task is over, then it will be removed from this. If task is not over, then it will be put on the last. So time sharing, use interval timer to implement time slicing, as I have shown you. Time sharing uses round robin scheduling, or you can say first come first serve. What are the features? Several jobs are kept in the main memory, so main management is required. Memory management, because many jobs are in the memory. Memory is limited, the swapping is used. CPU scheduling must be fair to all processes. See, it is not that like that. One process will use more CPU, and this process will use less CPU. So scheduling should be fair. So time should be equal for all the process. Real time. This is something new. A system is said to be real time if it is required to complete its work and deliver its service on time. And these type of operating systems are used in the machines which are used mostly in the industries. Industries like, you can say, refinery or automobile industry, where real-time output is needed. Let me give you one example. Consider a boiler, right? I don't know whether you know, boiler means it will boil the water up to some temperature. And consider that the boiler should be off when the temperature will reach to 100 degrees Celsius. The moment the temperature will reach to 100 degrees Celsius, the boiler should be off. In such scenario, Real-time operating systems are used when deadlines should be met. Otherwise, some big, you can say, lost may happen. There will be a blast in the boiler or something like that, right? So real-time OS uses the real-time timings. So real-time OS defines the completion of job within the rigid time constraint. Otherwise, job loses its meaning. Example, other involve flight control system, airline reservation system, right? Automatic flight. So when, for example, flight is at some height, it should not go beyond some height, airline. So some deadline should be met. So all tasks in the system must execute on the time, otherwise there will be a big loss. So two types, hard real time and soft real time. So what is the meaning of hard real time? It ensures that completion of critical tasks within the well-defined constraint. It cannot afford missing even a single deadline. Single miss can lead to the critical failure, right? Flight control system. When it is an automatic flight control system, you cannot have a single miss of deadline. Otherwise, the big loss. The second example is boiler, right? If you do not switch off the boiler when the temperature is 100 degree, then a big loss can be happen. So hard real time means at any cost, the task should be executed. Soft real time is something liberal. Late completion of the job is undesirable but not fatal. That means we do not want that the completion of the time is late but not fatal. That means does not lead to any critical failure. It is acceptable, but it will not result. It is not acceptable, sorry, but it will not result in the failure. System performance degrades as more and more jobs miss the deadline. The job should not miss the deadline. Example, online database, DVD player cannot process a frame, right? So if DVD player is processing some frame, if it misses one or two frame, we do not want bad quality of picture, but it is okay. It will not blast your DVD, right? It will not blast your DVD, but we do not want that. So generally hard real-time operating systems are used in the industries, in automation, flight control system, and soft real-time operating systems are used in the devices like refrigerator, oven, online database is one of the example. So this is hard and soft real-time operating system. Features of real-time OS: permits creation of multiple process, permits priorities to be assigned to the process, which process should be given the priority, user priority driven or deadline oriented scheduling, as I have told you, provides fault tolerance. What it means? It ensures that system will keep functioning even if the fault occurs, right? And graceful degradation, ability to system to fall back to the reduced level of service when fault tolerance occurs. That means if fault occurs, system will not break down, but it will still functioning, but with the reduced quality. And the distributed OS, generally it is used for the network environment. So it consists of several individual computers connected through the network. Distributed operating system consists of two or more nodes, where each node is computer system with its own memory, some network hardware, and able to compute some control function. And it may connect devices such as memory, CPU, and I/O devices of network computers. So what are the features? See, why I am not going into the detail, all is self-explanatory. So resource sharing, because it is network. Reliability, why reliability? Because one resource is down, other resources are available which are connected to the network. Computation speed up, because all the devices are connected, so computation will be faster. Communication, because it is a network environment, so communication is also one of the feature. And incremental growth, right? Because if you want processing to be increased, you can connect few more nodes to the network. So it is incremental growth. Distributed control, transparency, RPC I will explain in the next unit. So remote procedure call, right now I am skipping. And the last one is modern operating system. User engage in diverse activities in modern computing environment. Hence, modern OS cannot be used a uniform strategy for all process, right? Here, operating system have to use the strategy that is appropriate to each and individual process, because each and individual process requirement is different. For example, PPT, this PPT, different requirement. Browser, different requirement. Input and output process, different requirement. Antivirus, different requirement, right? So according to the requirement of the process, operating system will decide the strategy. Example, user can open the mail handler, edit files. So right now you all are doing this. You are opening a mail, editing the files, execute some programs, and can listen music at the same time. So the execution of program may be interactive and may involve the activity with the other node of distributed operating system, listening music of a soft real-time activity, right? So the OS must be round-robin algorithm for program execution and have to use priority scheduling for music to support distributed activity. So the moral of the story is, because different processes are having different requirements, so modern operating system must use different strategies for different processes. Thus, the modern OS have to use most of the concept of other type of. So it is nothing but combination of all the OS that we have. Sometime real time, some distributed, some multi-programming OS. So it will use the concept of all other operating system, right? So this is, I don't think, the end of first unit, one chapter. Now some more topics are, you can say, remaining. So I think tomorrow, or I think in the next lecture, we would be able to finish our unit number 1. So thank you all. You can write your enrollment number and then you can leave. Thank you. Thank you.